JKB back with another episode. Today I'm reviewing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Thank you so much to Activision for sending over the review copy. I'm going to split it into 3 different sections, starting with the single player campaign. Something I was not expecting here, after seeing the trailers at E3, was a unique experience in a Call of Duty game, and I'm happy to say here they've introduced something into the series that I really do feel like it makes it feel fresh and renewed. No longer is it an epic story, AAA, amazing textures, amazing character design and acting. It's also no longer linear. They've decided to kind of go with the Mass Effect idea of having a hub world that lets you choose the mission you want to go on to next. So in case you were wondering, it's a fucking great game. Once the main character takes over control of the whole fleet and command of one of the ships that's in deep shit, you have to decide what your next mission is going to be. And they lay out a hub world that allows you to walk around the ship and interact with other characters. That really opens up the story, but also allows you to choose and pick which main objective you want to do next. And that is something that has never been in a Call of Duty game. I haven't had this much fun since Black Ops 2. It totally reminded me of Mass Effect in the sense that Commander Shepard was allowed to walk around the ship, and it was incredible in that game. And in this, obviously it's not to that degree. However, it does break up the usual linear, obviously AAA experience you get out of the single player campaign of Call of Duty game. But I gotta just say, in closing here, it has some of the best elements of a Call of Duty game. The one thing that I really loved was the actual feeling of rebuilding your whole fleet of ships. I don't want to give away any of the story because I want you guys to experience it yourself, but your job is essentially to rebuild your fleet of ships. And when you're choosing the different missions, some of them might have to do with that. And you kind of get this sense that it's a little bit bigger than usual. Obviously it's the universe that's at stake here. So you do get a sense that it is a little bit more serious and larger in scope this time, and that really does work with the AAA campaign. Another thing that I found super interesting about the single player campaign is the 0G gravity missions, where you are essentially outside of a ship all by yourself, jumping around in 0G, and you have a grappling hook that allows you to grapple back onto the side of a ship or a meteorite or whatever you want. And with the D-pad, you push left or right to actually spin your character around. And it really does feel like some sort of new version of Call of Duty. And once you really get into it and understand how to use all of the abilities, it's a lot of fun. I gotta be honest, it was a welcome addition. It's not gonna blow your mind, but it is something that just barely elevates everything. Like, it really helps it. It's not just a gimmick in the game. And I'm happy to say that the 0G really does work. Another aspect is the Jackals. Now, these are small ships that you take out on missions as well, and you get to fly them for the first time in a Call of Duty game out of atmosphere into space. Some of the missions take place on the atmosphere of a planet, and you could fly at your own free will. It's no longer on a track system. However, I have to point out that when you do your auto lock, it does slightly feel like it's a little bit on a track system, but it is exciting. And the moment that a mission ends and you're like, well, that was incredible. Obviously it's a Call of Duty game and ships are crashing all around you, but the moment you realize that, oh no, it goes into space now, and you actually jump off the planet into space and then it continues, wow, that's awesome. There was a moment, don't make fun of me here, where I did tear up, and it had to do with the commander and a robot. Somehow I teared up a little bit during the main story campaign, so I don't want to give anything away, of course, but I'm telling you, it is emotional. It's as emotional to me as Battlefield 1 is. If you like what you're seeing, definitely hit that subscribe button and click the little bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. One of the most disappointing aspects of this game is the multiplayer. They've given it a huge overhaul to its class system. It's now focused around 6 different combat rigs. Each of these combat rigs have different payloads and weapons and abilities and playstyles. For example, the Phantom rig is designed for players that basically want more of a stealthy style of gameplay, while one of the other rigs is more designed for run and gun and so forth. You get the idea with this. However, the main problem here is, for me, it's more of the same old. I mean, they do take some of the cool aspects of the single player campaign, but I gotta be honest here, I feel that they're just kind of trying to copy other games out there. It's a little bit too much of the same. It's a little bit of a disappointment. There's also a major problem with the PC version of this game, where Activision has decided to go to Microsoft and split the fan base. They've split the servers on PC, meaning if you've bought it on the Xbox store on PC through Microsoft, you can't play with people on Steam. I know that sounds insane, but that's absolutely true. There's no cross-play between the Microsoft side of things on PC and Steam. And that right there, for multiplayer, is a disaster. Last but not least is zombies. Zombie mode in this game is the most fun I've ever had with the zombie mode. It's set in 1980 in a theme park called Spaceland. Paul Rubens, who is known around the world as Pee Wee Herman, is the main antagonist, and he does such an amazing job. And David Hasselhoff, of all people, plays himself, and I don't want to give it away, but it's so good. It's so funny. The characters are right out of the 80s. The female characters constantly saying totally, and you're getting that vibe of 1980s horror like Sleepaway Camp and Chopping Mall. It's really cheesy. Paul Rubens' characters decided that he wants to recreate his heyday when he was in filmmaking, making horror films, and he used to treat his actors like shit. He put them through hell to make sure that he got what he wanted on camera. And this time around, he's put you into Spaceland, which is such an amazing design. I'm so happy with this. Like, if I had to just score Zombies in Spaceland on its own, based on the gameplay and how addictive it is and the unlocks and the new card system, I'd give it a 10 out of 10, just this aspect of the game. However, there are other aspects that are a little disappointing, such as the multiplayer. But in saying everything, I'll just give you my overall score here. In zombie mode, they introduce a card system this time around that lets you choose a card randomly throughout the main story as you're going through it. You pick these cards out of a deck, and they give you special abilities, which really, everybody gets to use them, of course, but it heightens zombies to a new level I haven't seen before. That paired with all of the special abilities and all of the power-ups and all the different guns that you're going to be unlocking, and the level up system and the crate system, which allows you to basically unlock a rare or a legendary weapon or skins. All these things coming together. I have to say, the reason I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10 is mostly because of Zombies in Spaceland. I gotta say, the single player campaign has not been this good since Black Ops 1. Absolutely loved it. If you're a fan of Mass Effect and first-person shooters, you're in for a treat. The multiplayer is where the disappointment lies within this package. And I've got to point out, before I end this, it came with the remastered Call of Duty on here. Modern Warfare. Didn't cover it in this review, but I did play it a little bit, and I don't want to give it a score based on that. I just wanted to say that the Legacy Edition includes that, and this package, for $109 in Canada, which seems absurd, I gotta be honest, for $109, you're getting essentially 4 different types of games here. You're getting a campaign, you're getting the remake, the zombies, and the multiplayer. Is it worth $109 here in Canada, or, you know, $90 in the US? I gotta kind of say it is. It really is. If you guys want to sub to the channel, click the logo right there on screen, and also check out some of my previous reviews.